All right, everybody. I believe we're ready to go here. Let me just get Facebook up here so I can see if anyone's talking to me. Try and keep tabs on this. This is Bill Bostic, gearing up to do the Linglestown Gazette morning update. Just bear with me. Got a new routine I'm doing. This show is on Linglestown Gazette's Facebook page as well as a YouTube page. So I'm getting to the Facebook page here. Let's see. Here we go. Just bear with me. Don't run away. I mean, a great show coming up here today, folks. Here we go. We're live. There we go here. Okay. Here we go. We'll see. I don't know if I can see this right or not. Let me click on that. Yeah, I should be able to see it now. Okay. I'd like to welcome you, one and all, to another week of Linglestown Gazette Morning Update. We are brought to you, as always, by Consolidated Insurance Services. That's David Jones at the helm. And they're over there in Paxtonia. Wherever Paxtonia is. It's on the, I know it's on the south side of Route 22. Auto, home, life, and car or auto insurance. Consolidated Insurance Services. Here are your top stories, and remember, local matters. Local matters here. I've got an update on Forest Hills Commons. Do you know what Forest Hill Commons is? It's in the make. We'll have an update for you. This week, we're going to feature a local event. We'll tell you about what that is. And want to get your calendars out, get them ready to circle. We got stuff going on here. And then the final thing is some local high school basketball players. A grudge match will be on TV. Will be on TV. We have all that information for you today, starting with our top story, Forest Hills Commons. That's the new shopping plaza, neighborhood shopping plaza being constructed behind the Sheetz store on Linglestown Road. It's at Linglestown Road and Progress Avenue. Behind the Sheetz store, just to the north, towards the mountain, Blue Mountain, you'll see there's a lot of construction going on. I talked to the developer, Eric Kessler, who lives in our township, Lower Paxton. Again, this show is for if you live in Lower Paxton, the greater Linglestown area, or anywhere in Central Dauphin School District, this is for you. But Forest Hills Commons under construction. He indicated to me last week that the off-site improvements have been completed, and they've also worked on a retaining wall there in the front of the property, and they've shut things down for the winter. So hopefully sometime in March they're going to resume work on that project, and then sometime in the springtime we may have some announcements from Mr. Kessler on different companies that have signed leases to go into that spot. I know he had a lot of interest in the project as it was being planned out and worked through the township approval process. So that's what's happening there. So there you go. That's one of your top stories. The other one, your featured event, your featured local event. Again, everything here is local, because local matters. Is the Linglestown Fire Company 2 Soup and Bake Sale this Saturday starting at 9 a.m. And usually that thing is over by noontime because the soups are that good. What they do is, I'm taking a look at my volume here on the microphone. What they do is they have this shelter in the back of the brick firehouse here in Linglestown, and they build fires. And they have these big kettles. I mean, they're big. That's where they make the soup. They put it in, I don't know, they put it in some sort of container and pull these little wagons up into the fire hall, and then they put it into containers. So you can buy a bowl of soup. You can buy a quart of soup. You can buy, I don't know if they have gallon jugs or not, but you can buy all kinds of soup. I like their chicken corn soup. And let's see, chicken corn soup. There's 2 soups here. I can't see what the other one is. Usually it's a bean soup. And the bake sale as well. And one other thing that will be there is a blood drive. A bloodmobile will be there to accept your blood donations because blood banks in the area do need some additional blood, okay? We're going to be giving you information about that. As far as the basketball players are going to be featured on TV tomorrow night. Is the Central Dauphin Rams will be hosting the Central Dauphin East Boys, a cross-township rivalry or a cross-school district rivalry. The varsity game kicks off at 7:30, and a Lower Paxton Township-based broadcast crew. This is the High School Sports Live. Charlie Fortney and his gang, they work with ABC 27. The game's going to be on ABC Digital Channel 27.3. If you're on Comcast, it's 245 or Verizon 462. So again, that's tomorrow night, 7:30. Central Dauphin Rams basketball team will be playing the Central Dauphin East Panthers. All right, so that's your top stories. Now, I'm just wondering, put it in the comments if this is something that happened to you. Oh, ham and bean soup. Ham and bean soup. That's what Connie Ackery indicated to me here. So it's chicken corn soup, and then ham and bean. And then the women's auxiliary, tied to the fire company, has a bake sale. And then you can give blood. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do there. Our featured event. Did you see the lunar eclipse, the total lunar eclipse last night? I popped outside about, it was after midnight. And I would say about 90% of the moon was in a shadow. And I did see some photos this morning. I mean, the moon, once the moon is covered by the shadow, it gets a red color. So hopefully you experienced that celestial happening last night. I've been asking for testimonials because we're going to be kicking into a major fundraising drive here in the coming months. And whenever you do fundraising, you do any kind of marketing of a service. Again, this particular service is run by a nonprofit, or like as I like to call it, a no-profit. Okay, so but we do have to cover our expenses, and eventually we're going to have to pay a person or two to run this platform. I did get my first testimonial, and I like to give credit where credit's due. That came from Mr. Kane Smeltz of Kane Mortgage. So he kicks things off. Who's going to be the second one to give a testimonial what Linglestown Gazette does for you, if anything? I mean, if you want to send snide remarks or criticize, that's fine too. I have big, broad shoulders. But if you think Linglestown Gazette helps you in any way, shape, or form, please send a testimonial that we could use and tie your name to it, saying that you're giving this thing a thumbs up. There's a brand new Linglestown Gazette daily update. I changed the name. It was like before this, it was the Linglestown Gazette Wake Up Report. I don't want to use Wake Up Report because I want this thing to be consumable all day long. So I'm calling it the Daily Update. This is on Linglestown Gazette Facebook page. You can find a link, but it's also on your Alexa speaker or your Google Home speaker. You can hear this and set it up. I guess you can set it up so you can hear it every day. I know how to get the stuff on the speakers. I'm not so sure how to get it off. So I need, I'm 60 years old. I don't know these things, but I know I can get it on. I can get it on the speakers. Oh, what a world we live in. Let's move over to the CBC Cabinetry and Flooring National Day of the Day. And this honoree actually is a four-legged dog, actually, a dog. I'm giving my dog, Daisy, who unfortunately I had to put to sleep last week. She is our honoree, Daisy Bostic. She was 16 and a half years old. And my very close friend, I worked through the grief process, but last week her time came. She was just becoming a little bit hard to manage with her bathroom activities, given everything going on in my household. So we said goodbye to her. A good 16 and a half year run, and proof that the four-legged animals can be your best friend. She certainly was. All right, Crystal Bob took some amazing pictures of the moon. Good for you. Maybe share one on Linglestown Gazette. All right, and take notice, I'm fully outfitted in the Fat Man Clothing Company wear. I have the hat, the fleece, Of course, the FatManClothingCompany.com, sold by the Fat Man. That's Anthony Cristillo, made for everybody. We're going to move over to some more government news. This is sponsored by Kane Mortgage. Kane, again, thank you for that testimonial, wonderful testimonial. We'll be sharing that with the public in the weeks to come. Kane Mortgage is located just west of the village on Lingostown Road. They're members of the Nationwide Mortgage Licensing System, 51058. I did have to take a breath there. I couldn't get that all out. Let's see here. I do want to make note, a number of months ago, I did a report for PennLive.com on a statewide tip line for school threats that our Attorney General, Mr. Shapiro, was launching. And that officially launched last week, and a report from a State House reporter indicates, his name is John Finnerty. He works for Community Newspaper Holdings, Inc., and this one actually appeared in a newspaper in Johnstown, but there were 400 calls into this phone line last week. The first week, 400 calls. And if you have a piece of paper there, this is for if you as a parent, a student, anybody senses there's a threat, that a student is posing a threat, you can call this phone line. And what the phone number is, it's 1-844-723-2729. Again, 1-844-723-2729. And there's a website. I'll have to link to that story. I'll set this aside. What happens is, if the information is deemed to be very serious, they contact the police, who then interact with the school. If it's deemed not to be so serious, they inform the school of the information that was called in. But I was just amazed by the 400 calls to that line last week. And that includes, of course, Central Dauphin School District. On the Lower Paxton Township Supervisors, they were scheduled to meet on Tuesday night. That meeting has been canceled. And then the school board is not going to meet until next Monday night. So not much happening on the government front this week. Now, last week, the Township Supervisors did discuss a proposed ordinance that would regulate the use of consumer fireworks, the aerial fireworks that now are legal to be shot off. Okay. So they're gearing up to do that. Looks like they're going to be adopting that probably sometime in May, based on what was said before Memorial Day. And they had the one change they're making is that I think the normal time you'd have to cut off use of fireworks would be 10 o'clock at night. But they're going to make exceptions tentatively for New Year's Eve, actually New Year's Day, 12:30 a.m. would be your cutoff. On July 4th, 11 p.m. would be your cutoff. And the thing they noted, and I've been noting all along, is that in tightly developed or densely populated Lower Paxton Township, at least in parts, there's no way you can legally shoot off aerial fireworks. You have to have 50 yards away from a occupied building, and that's tough to get in our neighborhoods. The one meeting taking place this week, I know everyone gets so excited about this. I mean, it's just amazing how many people get excited about this. The Lower Paxton Township Zoning Hearing Board will be in action. This is this Thursday at 7 o'clock. This particular thing, if you live south of 22 in the area of the Speedway gas station, this is on the other side from Speedway, on the south part, heading back towards, this would be heading back towards Springgate Vineyard, in that general area of Paxtonia. Cindy Herman, who lives on Lockwillow Avenue, apparently wants to build a structure, probably a home, on, Gannett Street. And she's looking to get approval to have less than what's required as far as a side yard setback. And this is the kind of stuff that the Township Zoning Hearing Board does. The Zoning Hearing Board has some of your neighbors sit on it. They're a quasi-judicial body. They make rulings on this kind of thing. That's happening this Thursday, 7 o'clock at the Township Building. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Let's move over to the St. Thomas Roasters Coffee House community news segment. St. Thomas Roasters, located just off the square in Linglestown, they have a brand new doorman that I want you to check out. Okay, would you do that? Would you check out that doorman as you go in to get your favorite coffee? Community service. Community service is what we're all about here at Linglestown Gazette, a nonprofit, right? Giving back to the community, what it's all about. And we're looking to put together community service projects for our community. And this Saturday, we have an opportunity. After we get, let's see, I'm not sure of the timing here. Well, hopefully we could do this and get back for the soup sale. This is what's happening is this Saturday, volunteers are needed for Operation Clean Sweep at the Indiantown Gap National Cemetery. Starts at 9 a.m., goes through noon. You can spend as much time as you want. But what happens is at Christmas time, they put out wreaths on the various graves out there at the National Cemetery. Now they need people to take them off. It's a lot of fun putting them on. Not so much fun taking them off. And I'm proposing, and I think Crystal Bob, my co-host at times, by the way, good morning, Jerry Smith. I see you just signed on. But anyways, we're looking to see how many people will be willing to join us on Saturday, go out there and take some wreaths off. So this is like a last-minute thing, trying to sneak this community service thing in. We're starting get it in for this month. All right. And then we talked about blood drives earlier. Your next blood drive in our area is the 23rd, which is Wednesday at Centric Bank. I assume that's on Linglestown Road, 11 a.m. until 3. Again, we need blood in our blood banks. All right. And I do, get your calendars out one more time, folks. The Panther Ram Foundation has announced that they're having their annual Celebration of Excellence. That's going to be on Saturday, March 30th. And again, in the line of community service, Linglestown Gazette's going to be endeavoring to seek donations for the foundation and maybe get a couple tables there. Each table is $500, so if we all work together, we can easily get 2 or 3 tables, I'm sure. But the foundation, one of the main things they do is they provide NutriPacks or backpacks with food for children who need this over the weekends during the school year. So I wanted to get that out there. And I'm not sure where we're at time-wise. My new setup here doesn't give me time. But I think we'll end with our Tonino's Pizza High School Sports Report. Tonight, the Central Dauphin Lady Rams travel all the way up to Williamsport. They're taking you on the Lady Millionaire, so that's your game for tonight. And then, so that's really the report. I had a report here earlier. I'm not going to be able to find it. I'm not going to even go there. But anyways, that's your game tonight. Tomorrow night, CD East boys travel to Central Dauphin. That's on TV. Hey, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. The show is growing in popularity, and people are taking notice of it, and that's great because local matters. And what you've seen today is an example of what we're calling the CWS, the Community Watchdog System. And I want to acknowledge, and it's a closing comment, that Susan George is our first official community watchdog. She provides all kinds of information to our service and needs to be acknowledged for her volunteer efforts. Thank you, Susan George. With that, this is Bill Bostic, your wannabe Walter Cronkite, signing off one more time for Consolidated Insurance Services. Be back here tomorrow for another great show. Have a great Martin Luther King Day and Monday. See you later.
You staring.